A very good evening, everyone. I'm Shifali Shrivastava from University Living, Marketing and Communication Manager. Welcome to ULTV Study Abroad 101. Studying abroad can be an exciting and overwhelming experience, but if you plan it smartly, it can turn into a marvelous adventure. So here we are to get you started to evaluate and plan smartly. We have Saurabh Arora with us, founder and CEO, University Living. University Living is a global student housing managed marketplace that has assisted over 1.75 million students in finding student accommodation overseas. Saurabh Arora is an Indian entrepreneur in student housing industry. He's extremely passionate about higher education and student housing sectors and has created some groundbreaking impact over the past decade. Welcome, Saurabh.
Hi, Shafali. Thank you. It seems like coming back home.
Welcome. So you yourself are an UK alumni. So how was your experience? And I believe you went a little back, long back. Things have changed from that time now.
I mean, it making me sound that I am getting old, but I mean that's a fact, right?
I'm talking about the experience, actually, not making you sound old.
It's been 10 years, when I went to UK for the first time, and my experience is very different. I have not gone to UK for a typical traditional degree. It was a exchange program which I went and didn't get my accommodation, stayed in a hotel, and that's how all this journey started, right? So I always say that I have not choose this industry. The industry chose me, because I mean, it was very. I mean, I never planned. I never thought that I'll go abroad and study and end up spending 10 years into student housing and international education, right? So I'm not the typical Harvard pass out or a LSE pass out, but with spending of 10 years, definitely I can share some insights for our audience on how to plan or what have changed, right? Or probably some value addition to them.
Right, great. So you are in this industry for last 10 years and you yourself are running University Living, which is providing home for most of the students who are traveling abroad. And what is the steps? What are the planning involved in overseas education? How should someone should plan?
Very interesting, and I call today's generation internet generation, and very well planned, very informative generation. Back at our times, it was probably either we used to plan 3 months, 6 months. If someone is really very planned and organized, 2 years, right? But now when I interact with my parents or with my student parents and in the ecosystem with university reps, education agents, and all those lovely people in the industry, I've seen that students have started planning at the age of when they are in their seventh or eighth standard, and it's amazing because the kind of clarity, and also the kind of opportunities people are getting now, it's always good to take an informed decision, right? So I would say at least 2 years is a good time frame to plan your finances, which course, which universities, which city, then probably which part of that city you want to stay, what kind of room you want to stay, and thereafter, right? But as I'm saying, this is I mean, this is the age of internet, and this is the age of planned smart people. So even if someone really want to get into best of the universities and probably earn a scholarship, they need it will be good for them to plan their journey and plan their profile, you know if you're in 8 or 9 standard, that's are the those are the founding time, right? Wherein students or their parents know that whether they can afford US, whether they can afford to or UK or Australia, or that particular university which they are eyeing, and trust me, there are so many ways to get your degree sponsored, by by working on your skills, by working on your profile, by working on, or looking out for a career which is probably will be needed in next 2 or 5 or 10 years, right? So as early as possible, short answer, right? But then once you are in 8, 9, 10 standard, it will be good to start working on your profile, start working on your merit or academics, or probably extracurricular activities. Or even now lots of universities are giving lots of weightage, you know to people who might not be very strong academically, or they might not have any extracurricular activity in their profile, but then if they have one skill, which they are really passionate about, and they are really like they have nailed that skill. That skill can be playing guitar, that skill can be playing cricket so well, because all universities got their teams, or any sports, right? Or now coming up with probably get into new age courses or interests or field, like coding, web3. Even if you're artist, you can explore how you can be a digital artist, right? So if you just pick one or two passion which you are really don't create fake it, right? And then if you develop your interest, your skill in that particular field, you know you never know, you might be invited by Imperial for a business school, if their faculty will be so impressed to see your business plan. Even you might get lucky, and your business plan can also get sponsored or funded. So yeah.
Right. And you mentioned 2 points very interesting and clear. The foundation needs to be laid early, and that's how the building also remains strong. So whatever plans you have regarding studying abroad or regarding anything, if you start early in your days, you'll be able to achieve it in more planned and good manner. Second is that the key mantra that, just follow your passion, follow your heart. Correct?
I mean, to be honest, and I might sound philosophical, this passion thing, follow your passion, is also overhyped now, right? Because I might not have a passion to study, right? But then through study, I can have a opportunity to go abroad and do something which might not be available in your native country. Yeah. So, but yes, don't put all your eggs in one basket, but
Yeah.
do have 2, 3 ways, or chalk out a path, and follow it. If path A didn't work out, probably you have path 2. But if you have this planning, and you're clear as soon as possible, you can plan your finances, you can plan things around your journey.
Right. Great. So the key interest needs to be around those particular lines, right? It should not be just one course that you stick to. You should have one backup plan as well for the choice.
Yes, absolutely.
As you mentioned that like 2 years is something which one should keep planning. Is there any minimum number as well? For example, if somebody all of a sudden realize that, okay, I want to go abroad, or all of a sudden I had this realization, what should be the time frame? Can you give me a number on that?
See, again, it's very subjective here, right? Because I mean, there are some students who decided the very last minute, and they're not wrong. Probably they were planning something, didn't work out. So there are lots of bright students, or young students, who might not be financially that strong, or they are financially strong, right? But as per their situation, right? I'm saying ideally, and there's nothing like ideal, right? There's no perfect, professional myth, right? Ideally, the sooner the better. And if you have 2 years, you can chalk out lots of things which can save your money, time, and efforts, right? But if you have a last minute realization, or probably just you were looking to study in Delhi University or Mumbai University, or probably doing something which didn't work out, right? With so many options of studying abroad, even if you decide to take a plunge 3 months or 6 months back, you still stand a strong chance. But again, as I'm saying, sooner the better.
So I'm asking this question like most economical country to study in higher education. That's the actual question around it.
Again, I will not able to give a concrete answer, because that's all depend upon the lifestyle you want to see, right? But if I go by let's say traditional thought process, right? So I believe US universities fees are on higher side, right? But then there are lots of ways to redeem those fees, and you can earn on the campus. Then of course there are part times and all, right? But and then you have Germany, you have European universities, which, which might be economically, viable, right? But then, as I'm saying, if you need an answer, right? So US is, it will be highest on the spend part, university fees, as well as the, as well as the living expenses, followed by probably United Kingdom, then Australia, Ireland, right? And then probably European countries or universities, right? But then again, within that, there are lots of ways, you can figure out. I mean, I was hearing somewhere last evening itself in Vienna, in one of the top public universities. You can learn, or you can read a semester, by paying just 764 euros, which is like 65,000 rupees in Indian rupees.
Right. Right. And of course, there are multiple parameters in selecting a country. The course, the university also matters. So of course, that's there. And as you mentioned, that there are other things which can help you in study in a desired country. For example, if I talk about scholarship. So can you just enlighten us a little bit about that particular part of the scholarship part?
So see, that's a good part, right? And it's and to be honest, it's not that you can only earn a scholarship when you're going abroad. You can also earn a scholarship in your native city or a native country, right? There are lots of scholarships, and that's where my urge to request everyone to start early, because when you start early, you can explore all these things, right? And most of the good universities, or most of the universities, they have either dean scholarships, which have been offered by universities, or enrollment scholarship, which is offered by a certain group or a certain alumni, or for a certain project. So I was speaking with someone, one of my close friend in UCLA. They have a dean scholarships, and they have enrollment scholarships, right? So dean scholarship is basically academics, and enrollment scholarships are based out of a particular project or interest you're working on, right? Like, let's say, if you want to do something to water project, right? So they are alumni and organizations who want to sponsor bright, young, innovative, energetic souls, or students, to work on those projects, right? So then there are lots of organizations who are doing CSR, and they are offering scholarships, which are on a particular name, or on their founders, or on their legacy they have left over. So that's also another kind of scholarships one can look for.
And there are criteria with respect to the courses and the sports, as you mentioned earlier.
Absolutely. See, every university, I mean, I see universities as a town, right? Every university, they need good people to be around, or they need all kind of people. I mean, good is very subjective, but they need all kind of people, right? They they are universities who have a who seek to be number one in a soccer championship, and they put lots of weightage on to build their soccer team very strong, and they have some scholarship or some extra points or weightage giving to that skill, right? Then there are lots of scholarship for science-based project, right? Now, even lots of universities, they are offering scholarships on new age skills, as I mentioned, probably Web3 developer, NFT artists, coders, right? Even communication, social media, this is the best time to probably explore your, I would say, interest. I was about to say passion, but I would say interest, because if you really want to pursue something, there are opportunities.
Right, right. And anything else would you like to add over here?
On scholarships.
Yeah.
So yes, on the same basis, and one of the reason I have some more understanding of scholarship, how it works, because we've been working on scholarship at University Living, right? And I guess let me take this opportunity and a little bit shamelessly, do a brand integration here, wherein we are launching the scholarships, which we call social impact scholarships, or a co-creative scholarships, wherein we are ensuring that there's something coming from University Living end, which will be, we are marking our 6th year of University Living. So team is planning to launch a certain kind of give back or certain kind of, you know, surprise, for all the students who have helped us grow so far, and all our university buddies we've been working with, so look out for that space, and probably, within 2 weeks you'll get to know a few things which is really helpful for the ecosystem.
So that actually sounds interesting. And if you guys are watching, just keep tuning into our social media pages and website, and you'll get the news soon. Apart from this, so if I talk about stepwise involvement in the entire process of overseas, there is, selection of course, selection of university, and of course, the first is selection of country. Then part comes, your caste certificate is there, your visa is there, then accommodations. Accommodations is always the last because university living is into accommodation. So you must have seen this challenge that there is the student has to go next week and they are reaching you right now. I need a book accommodation over at this place and I need it near university. How do you manage that kind of thing?
So this is where, I would really urge everyone to that when we say we need to plan early, it's good for everyone, right? And don't see the way when we are going on travel, when you're going on vacation, the purpose of travel vacation is to get a endorphin rush, and then you can leave things at the last. You can explore. You're going for a week, 2 week, 10 days, right, or a month. So you can do lots of ad hoc things, and their repercussion might be not that bigger compared to, when you're going. It's your life transforming juncture, right? And if you're not planned, so let's say, I've seen so many of people getting their life partner or their business partner, in the buildings they have stayed, right? But where I'm coming from, this is, when you're planning your education, when you're planning a event which can be life transforming, which will be a life transforming event, don't leave things at the last, especially when you already invested so much of time efforts for by applying to universities, going to counselors or taking career counseling, then probably paying for IELTS, preparing for IELTS, preparing for those courses, or taking travel insurance or paying deposit, to get an offer letter. So it absolutely makes sense to also even look out for accommodation as soon as you know which city or which university you're going to. And it's okay to pay a deposit or a small nominal deposit fee to secure a place, right? And then with the current, flexible, policies, even your deposit can be refunded if you intimate them on time. So it's a win-win situation. So I really request everyone not to keep accommodation for the last, where you are spending 40% of your overall finances and 80% of your time, right? How can you keep that thing at the last? I mean, and this is where we are on, this is our purpose, like, don't book through us, right? But then look out for accommodation as soon as possible.
Right, coming from the experience in, I'll say, and of course you should book early. Are there any kind of financial benefits also for booking early?
Absolutely, see, um, I mean, we all know when we book an air tickets, the earlier we book air tickets, we get the better price, we get the better corner seats, we get a better, probably, cancellation policies and, whatnot, right? So it's like that, when you're booking accommodation, if you book early, not only you get the better prices, because they have most of the accommodation partners have dynamic pricing, right? And then when you're spending, so much of money and time, in choosing accommodation, I'm sure you want that higher floor, corner rooms, en suites, or with someone which you want to stay, or probably in a group. So why you're leaving things on the last? So there are lots of benefits, financial benefits on the face. The earlier the better, you get a better prices, right? But lots of intangible benefits, wherein the sooner you start, you get to book with your friends. If you want to, you can even choose a particular nationality or particular room or particular floor, so yeah, I'm all game for, as soon as possible. But of course, you should be knowing which city, which university you're going to, because before that, if you don't have a destination, you know for which destination you're gonna, if you have not booked your, if you don't know which city you want to go, how will you book which hotel you want to book there? So similarly, you need to know which city, which university. The moment you know which city, which university, right there, right that day, you should start exploring accommodation.
Right. Right. Saurabh, any personal experience would you like to share, or any personal tip would you like to share with our audience?
I mean, there are lots of personal experiences, and I mean, as I mentioned, that this is something which I started out of my own backstory. Wherein I had to stay in a hotel for 1.5 months, right? And then I came back and asked my then roommate and a very close friend, who is my co-founder, Mayank, that whenever you're going abroad, do book accommodation from here and don't book when we are landing there. But even that didn't work, right? Because he booked with some not so cool British couple, right? And his experience was not that great. But that's why we have created BeUniversityLiving.com, wherein not only you can discover, compare, or book, but also you'll be taken care end to end till the time you are settling there. So yeah, I mean, if you want to stay in a hotel for 2-3 months, please don't book and go at the last minute. Take your parents and look around. It's lots of fun and lots of adventure, but it's a very expensive adventure.
Right. So if you want to have a nomad adventure, hotels are your place. If you want to plan adventure, then there are multiple things you need to plan: your country, your city, your course, your all the visas, your application, your exams, and of course your accommodation. So I think thank you, Saurabh. Thank you, Saurabh, for joining us. And it is always a nice to get help. And we hope we were able to help you guys. Just in case if you need more information, you can sign in and you can check our account on social media handles on our website. On this note, we'll be closing the session. Thank you so much for joining us. Thank you, Saurabh. We hope the session is insightful. Looking forward to see you guys again next Friday. Thank you.
Thank you. Thanks a lot. Thanks, Shefali.
Thank you.